And welcome back to the Engage A podcast. Here, joined on a nice Friday afternoon by Robby Elliott, just moments away from the Pac-12 championship, and I believe the CUSA between what is it, New Mexico State and Liberty? Should be a
Yep.
solid game there as well. Yeah, let's just jump straight into it. No need to waste time here. Pac-12 championship game obviously being played tonight. Oregon, Washington, kickoff at 8 o'clock. This matchup last time, Washington got a 3-point victory, 36-33. A lot happened in that game. A lot of people think that the better team did not win that game. And I think tonight's going to be a really good showcase. Can they beat them twice, which is really hard to do in college football?
Absolutely. Hard to do for sure, but especially when your team has taken, in my opinion at least, a bit of a step back. I think Washington's defense has shown even more inconsistencies. And as much as Michael Penix, I wouldn't say he's like degressed, but I just think that, the scouting report is out on Washington. And on the flip side, Oregon has continuously gotten better and better. Bo Nix, the confidence is through the roof. Obviously, maybe Washington is the kryptonite. However, I do not think so. I'm going to have to say this game could very well, I think it's going to be a great game, but this game very well could get out of hand in the second half. I think for the first half, we are going to see two tight teams, whether it be a big offensive showdown like we should expect in the Pac-12, or it's, a little bit more of a defensive battle if Washington's defense wants to, show up and play. It's an interesting matchup for sure. I just don't think that Washington can take it twice.
Yeah, I think Washington, obviously, we've seen the inconsistency on defense. Like I've said all season, and even said in the preseason, they don't look good to go collectively, but they got dudes. And I'm wondering because obviously Washington, I think the defense has played better because they kind of had to recently with the offense kind of regressing. And they've had receivers in and out of the lineup. The only really consistent guy out there is Jalen Polk, or consistent guys are Jalen Polk and Rome Odunze. Jalen McMillan, obviously, he was supposed to be the number 2 all season, but he's just been hurt. And then we have Drury Bernard getting in the mix. Michael Penix has regressed. He was throwing like mid-70s, first 5 games of the season, 17 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's just hit a little bit of a regression ever since that Oregon game. Feels like he hasn't been the same player, whether it's due to injury or just, teams figuring him out. I'm not going to be the one to speculate or put it any words. Nothing official here. It's not my job to report college football or anything. But I think Penix, I think this is where he either breaks or this is where he kind of resurges into the greatness that we saw at the beginning of the year. I think this is just like Heisman implications. I think if Washington wins, I think the Heisman goes to Jayden Daniels at the end of the day.
Yes, and I was hoping that you would say that it doesn't go to Penix because, yes, does Penix, if he, has the ultimate surge,
right? But
he's got the winning record, right? And he's got, the winning record, the success, the conference championship, and the stats.
Unless he throws for like 600 yards.
Right. No, 100%. It would have to be.
Then that's a little bit of a different story.
Right. If he breaks Pac-12 championship records, absolutely, you gotta give him the nod. But it's a credit, truthfully, to just how good of a football player Jayden Daniels has been all season, even though his record for his team has not shown. But once again, when you even take a outside perspective and just look at this tape, not even super in depth of LSU and their team, we all know that Jayden Daniels, if he was on any other team and had any other defense, he'd be competing tonight for a chance to play in the college football playoff.
If you can argue that if LSU doesn't have a ton of injuries on defense and they can figure some stuff out, it's probably a different story. And this LSU team, like preseason-wide, this LSU team was supposed to be a top 10 team. And I think fully healthy, they probably are. They
probably, for sure. But on the flip side, Bo Nix wins this game. He does have the resume completely and has performed, in my opinion, all season long to, he wins the Pac-12 championship
I'm
and
gonna
locks
say
himself into
I'm gonna interrupt you here. I say eye test wise, Jaden Daniels looks better than Bo Nix just
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
because Bo Nix, a lot of his yards are stuff after the catch and a lot of
Mhm.
just
For
schemed
sure.
up stuff. Jaden Daniels kind of does it all on his own.
Right.
But
And we
that's
just
not
don't know,
but I
though.
will the counter argument to that is that's not gonna matter to a voter. So
Right. We're going to see really what the voters care about. So much it has been who's the highlight guy, who's the flashy guy. But, with this new image of college football, maybe we start seeing the guy who's winning, putting up good stats, yes, but winning more and is playing, in January. Maybe that's what they want to see now. Who knows? In my opinion, if I had to cast a vote right now, and I don't even care what happens tomorrow, unless it's something out of this world, my vote is Jaden Daniels for
yeah,
the Heisman all day.
my vote would be Jaden Daniels too. And I don't think there's any other way to put it. I was on the Carson Beck hype train for Heisman a little bit, and he might get some votes if he plays really well tomorrow.
I think it's going to be interesting to just see who joins because
Yeah,
Bo Nix and Jaden are going to be in
yeah,
New
right.
York no matter
Unless
what.
like someone like really like adds something. Like if Jalen
Right.
Milroe, Rush, he thinks he should have.
No,
dude.
he's a guy that I think we could see get it because he beats Georgia, but like this, there's no
He's not-
chance.
yeah,
There's
no,
no world where he wins it this year. Now, could he win in the future?
maybe.
That's a conversation to be
For
had
another-
later on.
Yeah. Yeah. But, final thoughts on this game going into it. Like I said, Oregon, my problem with Oregon being ranked at number 5 is they are a quality loss team. I don't believe they even have another ranked win, right? They have a weak
their
schedule.
best wins is Oregon State and Utah.
Okay, so they have Oregon State. Oregon State's a ranked win. Utah's no longer a ranked win.
Right.
So
Right. No, yeah.
it's like, yes, they've looked good against those teams. Don't get me wrong, but I think there's a certain point where the well-oiled machine kind of assembly line, like nothing really fails. We keep on going and keep on pushing. It only goes so far. Look at no offense, Robby, but look at Michigan when it comes to the playoff, right? Like,
right,
dude.
There's so many things that go into this game to be elite at this level, at the level that is it requires to win a national championship.
I will say though that Oregon can get off script and look for the explosive plays. They have the athletes, they have the quarterback, they have they can get stops on defense when they really need it. And I just think that's something to an element that Washington, they kind of got lucky with the first time with, Oregon kind of making some mistakes here or there down the stretch where I think they're going to be a little bit more prepared to do that this time. Washington, you also say the same thing for Washington. They might be prepared for what Oregon's going to do. They might have a little bit of, this game's going to come down to all the small details, and whoever puts in the effort towards that, whoever's been preparing better throughout the week, maybe Washington's just been looking ahead towards this game and hasn't really cared about their schedule. Like that's also just a huge possibility. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I will say I like the way Washington's still been able to close out games no matter what. And I think that's important going into a game like this. They still it feels like they're almost trying to play that way, trying to give themselves like a little bit of adversity. So that just might be the case as well. I don't know. College football is a very interesting world. I will say Kalen DeBoer is just a winner. So,
dude, he is a winner. Do I think, and this is the last thing I'll add, and then we can move on to the Big 12 championship. Do I think that either one of these Pac-12 teams, if they make it into the playoff, which I think whoever wins this game,
whoever wins gets in.
But do I think that either one of these teams can come out and win a national championship? No, I don't. I don't think so. I
don't know. I think all 8 teams that can make it, other than Florida State at this point, could win it. That's how I genuinely feel.
Oregon would have to.
I think Washington's definitely like the least possible out of those 7 to win it all, just because of how they would match up against the other teams. But I think also the way that they play, they might be able to just win that way and win how they play, because no one's been able to really no one's been to officially stop them yet, no matter what. I will say Jalen Johnson was in a boot last week after their game in their game, so it'll be interesting to see if he's back or they're gonna have to use some different guys. But it's not like Dylan Johnson's this big, like difference maker or force on the field. Like Washington's just got like if you haven't watched them all year, they got pretty good pass protection. They got a pretty good offensive line. So I think as long as you do put someone that's athletic, kind of a jag type running back, you'll be fine.
Absolutely.
And if you don't know what JAG stands for, it's just an average guy. So
you learn something new every day on the Engage Day podcast.
Yeah, informational and also hopefully entertaining. And that's probably why you're watching. Unless you're 70 and you're like, I need to, if you're reading the newspaper, you're like, I need to learn something today. Anyways, get my monocle and everything too.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, the Big 12 championship, Oklahoma State, Texas. I want to say Oklahoma State has a chance, and maybe they do. And maybe Texas just keeps doing this thing. They didn't do it last week. They actually played extremely well at Texas Tech or at home versus Texas Tech. But I'm not a believer in this Oklahoma State team. I think their strength is going to get shut down very quickly. And because Texas
and your strength in your opinion, their strength is the
running game. Yeah, the running game.
Okay.
Because how are you going to run through that defensive line? And the linebackers have been playing really good on Texas this year too. I'm not too confident in Alan Bowman passing. Like when it came down to Alan Bowman, watch the UCF game. When it came down to Alan Bowman having to make plays, it doesn't go very well. Okay. He's not a guy that's going to be able to step up and lead. Here's a good word, jag. And then, no, but like, he's just someone, I think also part of it's just this Oklahoma State receiving core is not necessarily elite either. I think the defense is, they kind of just they get stops when they need to, but they're not like reliant in whatsoever. So I think Texas is going to be able to win at all levels of this game. And that just kind of makes me believe that they're going to win this game. But hey, I don't know. Crazy stuff happens all the time, man. And
crazy stuff does happen. Like you said, it's the defense. It's the defense that's been the difference all year for Texas. It's why they've been able to get themselves in this game with all the injuries that have happened and just all the unfortunate situations with them losing.
Other than Brooks being out, like I feel like this Texas team is like finally fully healthy for them. Like,
yeah, and that's why it's like it's interesting to see.
I mean, both lines of scrimmage have been playing extremely well for Texas this year, so I think that's
something they've lacked for so long.
And say what you want about Oklahoma State, they're gonna try their absolute ass off. That's something that Oklahoma State always does, except for the last 5 games of last year. I don't know what happened there, but maybe it was the Spencer Sanders effect. I don't know, but I think this Oklahoma State team's good. They deserve to be here. They won big games. It's just like you look at the South Alabama loss, you look at the UCF loss, like. It's tough. They slip up and they don't play. They're one of those teams that like if they play a full 60 minutes, it's a good looking football team. When they don't, it gets ugly really quickly.
Right. And how do they respond to being on the biggest stage?
Yeah.
It's all big questions, and it's why the fact that you're walking into the conference championship game with these big gouging question marks. It's why I just don't have belief. It's why the line's set at 15. There's just so many things. Ollie Gordon, does this kid deserve to be playing in this game? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's just really not guys on this team that have opened their eyes to me and be like, wow, this guy deserves
Meanwhile, Texas has plenty of them on their roster.
Dude, Mitchell, Worthy. I mean, Brooks, if he was playing, Ewers, Tavondre. Dude, the list just goes on and on.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Hill, Burke. Like, there's tons of guys.
This Texas team is one of the most loaded Texas teams we've seen in a long time.
They are a really good football team. And the things that deserve the most credit, Texas has always had the skilled players. It's just the lines of scrimmage, offense and defense. They've been a real difference, and there's a real buy-in on that team. And I think as long as they keep playing the way they do, they're gonna be fine. And this team is capable of winning a national championship, whether you want to believe it or not.
Absolutely.
The talent's there. I think Sark might be the problem, but
Interesting. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but
I'm just saying when it comes to the big games, the high pressure situations, when they beat Alabama, they kind of got out in front. When they had to play from behind against Oklahoma, it came down to one. I think Sark's it's the problem in one possession games. I think that's what it really is.
That's the problem with those Alabama teams, man.
Yeah.
Those Alabama coaches. Even J-Mo. Remember when J-Mo said that he doesn't remember ever having to come back in a game when he played at Alabama and Ohio State? I mean, these teams really just never really – they don't play behind all that much. So it's like when they're not tested in that area, it shows. It really does.
It does show. All right. SEC championship time. Speaking of Alabama, we got Alabama versus Georgia. I'm very excited to watch this game. I'm very intrigued to see how both these teams try to, I guess my thing is I wonder how, I guess for both teams, I wonder how these teams are going to score, but I know they're going to score because there's athletes everywhere. Like Alabama has the highest blue chip ratio of all time. They both these teams get insane, they get elite level recruits, although there's only one 5-star, I believe, on the Georgia offense with Marius Mims, who's going to be one of the top tackles drafted. But what I'm saying is that both these offenses have been good, but I think more Alabama's than Georgia's. I think legitimately Alabama has the best defense in the country. I mean, you got Braswell, you got Malachi Moore, you got guys in the secondary playing extremely well. You got Kool-Aid McKinstry, you got Jordan Battle. No, not Jordan Battle. Oh, Dallas Turner. I'm thinking of something different. But regardless, Alabama is a really good defensive football team, really good coached. It's just their offense. They're going to score points. Maybe not. Maybe they won't. I'm just wondering how.
I got to believe in – I don't care anything that's happened. Everything before this game does not matter. This guy, there's a guy on that sideline who has more – he's the most battle-tested big game coach of all time, nobody probably in all of sports, in my opinion. This guy is going to throw the kitchen sink at Georgia, and there's nobody that knows how to beat Georgia better than Alabama. Knows how to beat Kirby Smart better than Nick Saban. Does that mean do I think they're going to win? No, but this team, we're going to see the most gallant attempt from Alabama all season. We're going to see plays that we haven't seen all season. We're going to see these guys play at the level we haven't seen all season, because this is why you go to Alabama. This is why. And you're going to have to face Georgia. That hasn't been something that hasn't been on their mind the whole time. It's the same thing with Michigan, Ohio State. You're going to have to get through to them in order to, obtain some hardware. And Alabama is going to give them a fight. I think they are going to score. I think Milroe is going to show a lot. I think he's going to.
I will say the receivers on Alabama have improved tremendously.
Vastly improved. Burton,
Isaiah Bond. They have that freshman too. Oh, what's Law? He's been playing decently well.
You're going to see Milroe keep the ball more. You're just going to see every single person lay it on the line. And that's why this game is, in my opinion, the most intriguing conference championship game of the weekend, because
I got to debate.
I don't
for my personal interest, I think there's going to be not necessarily a big game, but just a closer game when it comes down to it. But it's a Group of 5 championship game, so you got Sicko Noah over here.
Yeah, sure. But in terms of dude, this is
in terms of star power, in terms of impact, in terms of everything coming down to it, just all reading between the lines of this game. Yes, this is the biggest game.
We're seeing Alabama play hot right now. And yes, Auburn was ugly, but they still got the win. The momentum still carries. And Georgia, this is the time when they turn up. We talked about it before the Kentucky game. Is this team good? And then they turned up.
But there is a part of me that thinks Georgia could put away this game quickly. There is a part.
Yes, That's
I will
what I
say
mean by
this.
turning up.
Yeah,
Like this
yeah,
team can
no, but
turn
this
into a
is what I mean
level.
by this. When you watch Alabama and you watch Tennessee, and if you don't put colors on the jerseys and you don't know the names of the players, you'd think it'd probably be the same thing. A lot of deep shots and a lot of relying on the run game, right? Georgia took care of Tennessee, like, quickly.
Handily.
Yeah, and granted, Tennessee's defense is nowhere near the calibers of Alabama's, but what I'm saying is that maybe Georgia takes care of this because I believe Georgia's got the best defensive back group, in the country. You got Lassiter, like one of the best. I think he's going to be one of the best DBs, in the NFL. And then you got guys like Mondon and you got the freshman Campbell who have been playing really well in the linebacking crew as well. I will say the Georgia defensive line is something that's kind of like disappointed me this season. And I think Alabama's offensive line, one of those groups that have just I think the Alabama offense in general is just, all gained and progressed so much throughout the season. It's one of those teams. And I'm wondering if Alabama can win that battle at the line of scrimmage with the defensive linemen, and they have to force Georgia players, if they got to send 5 or 6. Like, I think how you design blitzes for Georgia, I think that's really going to matter in terms of stopping the run and generating pressure. I think you will be able to, though, because like I said, Georgia's got the best defensive back group in the country. But also for Alabama, they got 2 of the best edge rushers in the game, basic, in my opinion. So Braswell is just an elite talent. So
Oh yeah, and Dallas Turner has been an elite talent.
Dallas,
This is a kid that's been playing alongside on the other side of Will Anderson since
yeah,
he's a
like
freshman.
both these kids, absolutely uber talented. And Amarius Mims, though, like it's just a battle of stars everywhere.
I know, and these are guys that know how to
And it
play
comes
the game, and
and
they're
then
coached by
really
guys who
what it
know.
really comes down to is the coaching. I think that's what really matters. Also, shout out to the DB coach. What's his name? It's Dumaine Brown. He's going to be for Georgia. He's going to be the head coach at Syracuse now. So, congrats to him.
Heck of a
We'll get into more coaching carousel buzz and what's been going on, with that transfer portal as well, because there's been some names since Monday. So
there's been some names. Has been some names for sure.
Yeah. But all in all, I really like Georgia in this game when it comes to every level. That's who I'm gonna take.
I'm taking Georgia too, but I would not be surprised one bit if the next time we're recording an episode that Alabama, the result comes out.
You see Nick Saban cry and realize that this is his last game he's going to coach, and then Deion.
This is it. I mean, no matter what.
And then Deion goes to Alabama. There's a reason why every single quarterback, and then both quarterback commits are just not going. No, I think actually the true issue at Colorado, and if you haven't been paying attention, Colorado's just like losing recruits left and right.
It's a dumpster fire.
Well, I think it's because they kind of know he's not going to be there for the long haul, right?
No, you're getting that guy. There's no way in my mind that Deion Sanders is the head coach at Colorado past the year 2026. No way. Not even close. Do I even think he's going to be there next year? No. But no way in heck 2026. That is the bar. That is where he would.
I think he's going after next season. That's my personal opinion. So
we'll see.
Yeah, like the Ohio State job's probably going to become open after Ryan Day, loses his 4th game in a row to Michigan. Let's see what else could come open. James Franklin might get fired because he just has a very disappointing season after he loses all his defensive guys that are nuts. USC might be open if Lincoln Riley stays another year and realizes I can't win here. There's also I'm just absolutely Dan Lanning might take another job in Oregon.
No, man, he is not taking.
You never know. Brian Kelly might not work out at LSU. There's
that's something I could see.
There's just always something, right? There's going to be
UCLA's job's going to open.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows? I'm trying to think of other jobs Deion would take. We need to do a whole episode on this. Maybe we got to do. Maybe this should be a great YouTube video over the off season. me and Robby explaining why Dion would go to every single 132 FBS team.
Does Dion deserve that coverage, though? Does Dion deserve that coverage?
No, but it would get views.
It would get views. Dion does get views.
So
stay tuned, actually. The research starts tonight.
It's going to be a long research process. Why Dion goes to Old Dominion.
Why Dion goes to Old Dominion.
Because back in the day,
why Dion
on this day in 1992.
PJ Fleck at Western Michigan.
Oh, man.
Why Dion is the head coach at Heartland. That's
why Dion is going to coach Lawrence Tech football.
there's a job opening, man. That would just
no. Like I said, me and Robby discussed this. We're taking over there.
That is our program. I'm interviewing tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna be his first phone call away for offensive coordinator.
He's the OC. He's also the play-by-play guy. He's gonna do that at the same time.
I'm gonna make the calls on the play-by-play because we're
Mike's gonna be dual. It's gonna go to the box, but it's also gonna go to the broadcast.
Yeah, it's just gonna be the big nuts offense. All right. Staying on topic of conference championships and not why me and Robby are going to be the greatest college football coaching tandem for years to come.
Of all time.
Yeah. ACC championship, Florida State, Louisville. Predicted those Cards to get there. I'm rooting for them because, they might actually have a good chance to win this game. But no.
I heard the starting quarterback at FSU is not even the kid might not even play.
Yeah, Tay Rodemaker he got hurt in that game versus Florida. I don't remember the
concussion.
So he is out.
Pretty much. I have not heard positive news. So that means it's going to be, I believe, Brock Glenn.
Oh, she is.
And this sucks for Florida State.
Yeah, and it really does suck for Florida State because they've had a tremendous season, despite what everyone will say about, and there's a very hated Florida State fan on Twitter, Danny Cannell. Dude, the amount of backlash, Danny Cannell is just playing the villain here, and we've mentioned his name before, and we're gonna get him on here someday, whether it's tomorrow or sometime in 2024. No, he's very hated in the college football Twitter landscape, or college football X landscape, as some people might call it now. It's still Twitter.
No, it's actually nowhere. The only thing that has X. The only place that Twitter is set on X is on the URL. If you look up on your phone on the search app, Twitter, if you type that in, nothing will pop up. It's completely gone X now, and it's stupid.
Yeah. But
Elon Musk, I hate it.
Hey, Twitter. Cybertruck is faster than a Porsche 911. Wild
with a Porsche 911 behind it
and a tow. Yeah, apparently. Get your pre-orders in for that. You might get in before GTA 6 releases. Just so. Yeah. Anyways, more important business than future things that might end up just never happening, like the college football game, even though they said it's set to release according to On3 next summer. I don't know. I think I'll probably still stick with college football revamped anyways, because I have a feeling EA is going to ruin the game. So,
yeah.
But no, this game, like I said, I'm a big candid. How do I put this, God? I have no words right now. I'm a big advocate for this.
There you go.
Yeah,
has been all season, and there's good reason to be.
Even in the preseason, I was still here.
Yeah, if you have
Jag Plumber, it's not Jack Plumber, it's Jag Plumber, but
So you're gonna be an advocate, but then you're just gonna be, you're gonna.
Hey, he's fine. Everyone else is elite on the team. No, no, Jamari Thrash, Bell have both been really good receivers. The Garedo and Jawar Jordan have been very nice pieces in the run game. And then they got guys like Quinn on defense, who's been the real stud at middle linebacker. And the rest of the defense collectively, they played really well. And I think, with Brock Glenn playing quarterback for FSU, they're going to shoot. They're going to do what they did against Notre Dame. Notre Dame could not really play outside And it's going to be the same thing with Trey Benson. They're going to try to get him the ball and trying to get him the ball as much as possible. And Louisville, they're going to do that thing where Notre Dame has a better offensive line than Florida State. Like, I think that's pretty safe to say. They're going to shoot the
It's
gas.
a safe bet. Yeah.
And it's not like the players on the outside for Florida State are necessarily great players in open field when it comes to Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman. They are guys that make big catches because they have a good quarterback. Example, Jordan Travis. Like, if you watched the game last week, like Johnny Wilson, he was just taking like 5 or 6 yard dump offs. Keon Coleman wasn't too big of an impact player in that game. They literally won because Trey Benson got to the end zone 3 different times, which credit to Trey Benson. That kid is a stud and is going to be good in the NFL, I believe. Like, he fits the prototypical NFL running back. Strong, athletic guy, can move in space. He can also catch the ball a little bit too. He's like, he can only do so much in this game. Meanwhile, when you're Louisville, you got a guy that can get the ball and get guys in space. You got a really good supporting running tandem. The offensive line, I think, has been overachieved a little bit this year than compared with what their actual talent is. But, Louisville's a good team. And, I rocked with them all season. Very bad game last week not very bad, but, not good game against Kentucky, but it's a rivalry game. Anything can happen. I'm past that. Like, Alabama almost lost to Auburn, and Auburn, like, I don't even know if they should be a bowl team or not. So they lost to New Mexico State by 21. Okay, which New Mexico State, they're good, but not SEC caliber good. Give me Louisville. I like them in this matchup, and I'm excited to see what Florida State can do, because if they can prove that they can actually play, then maybe I'm not so pissed they're in the college football playoff. But what I saw last week against Florida, that was a disaster. So we'll see.
No, this game's going to be a disaster, I think. I don't think Florida –
it might be one of those.
I don't think they'll win, but I don't want to see them win because I don't want this in the playoff. Like, I don't want another year of the 2021 playoff where Cincinnati got in and it was just like, okay, yep, play the game so that we can just get on to the national championship.
I don't know.
It's the same caliber stuff, dude. Dude, Florida State without their starting quarterback does not match up to Georgia even a little bit.
Yeah.
And forget putting them against Michigan, because Michigan will just sit there and hand the ball off. There you go, Blake. This is just run. We'll just make this the most boring college football semifinal of all time.
Hey, hopefully the other games get that at least.
I hope so, man.
Be Washington and Georgia.
I think I not to get too much into how I think this thing is going to structure, but I think whoever wins the Pac-12 championship has a date with Michigan.
And me and Robby got to talk about when we want to record our reactions to, all the college football playoff games and whatnot. But we will bring you that content Sunday, Monday, whenever me and him are really available and me and him aren't working or sleeping, which we don't do much of the sleeping part, but
no
most of our
thing. Sleeps for the week. But
yeah. All right. Big Ten championship. Jake Butt, if you want to give me those free tickets, I will gladly take a drive to Indianapolis Saturday morning.
Clip that, put in the replies. Flip it and put in the replies.
Please do. Imagine you're team.
Yeah. But no, this game, people believe too much in this defense of Iowa. I mean, just too much.
Yeah.
Guys, this defense has been the same defense the last 3 years, and they still have yet to been like, come on.
Like,
if you want to tell me if there's a world where Kirk Ferentz's offense is even going to put up double-digit points, you are out of your gosh darn.
Hey, their defense might put up double-digit points. Maybe the special teams,
Maybe.
What the vibe I've gotten from I've heard what this Iowa team's kind of treating this game, it's kind of like, wouldn't it be hilarious?
That's literally what Ferentz said. Wouldn't it be hilarious if we messed up the whole playoff?
Yeah.
It's like, you can have that.
And you know what? With those vibes, no, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I'm not taking it.
I was about to say.
Although I would love to go to Robby's residence and watch him burn all his Michigan gear.
Live on stream, ladies and gentlemen. Live on stream.
We're gonna be on TikTok, Instagram, doing every single.
Hey, at least we'll go viral, but I'll be out a lot of money for all the gear that I own. Has to be Michigan dunks getting burned.
It's okay. We can get you some Jonathan Smith Michigan State gear.
Yeah, for sure.
Or,
For
maybe you could switch to the dark side and go Ohio State,
Iowa State. Jeez.
No, Ohio State.
Oh, I'd burn myself before I'd be a fan of
Or,
them.
we've been just really started our huge Toledo fandom.
There you go. I'll do that. That's the same colors, right? The Rockets
Yeah.
are the same colors.
I mean, it's not maize.
It's not maize, but
it's same like collar. It's the same color concept. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
No,
I think it's interesting.
I don't even know why. I don't know why I put this game really on here.
Right.
Power 5, and
it's already over. But it's interesting.
Don't say that. We will clip that, and we will have your stuff burned, dude. We will get it burned if they lose.
It is interesting to note, though, the over/under for this game is 34.5, with Michigan as 22-point favorites. It's just like,
how do you think Iowa's going to score 12 points?
I don't know. This is
maybe
terrible,
that's what I should have told you. And did you see Justin's text on Gambit? Okay. I don't gamble, guys. I'm 18 years of age. Don't come after me, Vegas, or the FBI, IRS, all the federal agencies that actually I won't say that on air. CIA. No, but I told them I was like, what you should do is SMU plus 3.5, Troy minus 5, under in Louisville, Florida State, and over in Texas Tech. So
lock it in, baby.
Knock it in. Hey,
profit. He's gonna make the money.
Yeah, Troy's gonna dominate the Sun Belt Championship, and SMU. I think Tulane's fraudulent, and I think they're gonna.
That's a bold take.
They played good. I actually watched that game versus UTSA last Friday. They played well, but is UTSA really that good of a team? Frank Harris has been hurt on and off all year. There's not really difference in skill there. Meanwhile, Jaquan Jackson is a tremendous player for Tulane. We mentioned him early in the season, but kid's a stud at receiver. So I don't know. I think, and also, yeah, they have a ton of guys in Tulane.
Mekhi Hughes is.
Yeah, Mekhi Hughes is another guy that's ridiculous as well. So
Lawrence Keys, I mean, dude.
Yeah,
Tulane stack. Michael Pratt's pretty good though.
Yeah, Michael Pratt. There's rumors that saying he might enter the transfer portal. Dude, that kid's a pro. He is
just
pro.
Go, just leave. Even though guys like Trey Lance and Zach Wilson haven't given him a great path, hasn't established a great foundation for trust in these group of 5 quarterbacks.
It doesn't matter where you come from, man. It just matters if you can play the game or not.
Yeah, but Lance.
I mean, yes, player development matters. Player development matters, but
your ability to operate a high level, pro level offense, which I don't think
to an extent.
Wilson
it's also at the end of the day, it's on you
for sure.
Unless you were literally getting purposely hurt and being curb stomped before practice every single day, so you're probably gonna have the concussion. It's on you to watch film. It's on you to study. It's on you to take care of your body. Yeah, yes, obviously, if you have a good coaching staff and a good system, that just helps even more. But all right, yeah, like I said, this game I might not even watch it. I might have my full attention on the ACC championship because it's probably gonna be a better game. But
yeah, good for you. I'm watching this whole thing.
Yeah, of course you are.
Reveling in it.
Unless Iowa's winning, then I will say Iowa might give this Michigan team. They're going to be banged up from that Ohio State game. It's natural. So I think they could start out a little bit slow. Not saying that Iowa's going to get a lead, but Michigan only might have a 14-point lead at half.
Right. That I do expect.
Yeah. But they're going to come out, and they did the same thing against Maryland. They started out slow, and then they got things rolling a little bit more towards the end of the game and took care of business. And, they don't have to worry about Deacon Hill. If Deacon Hill starts just throwing and slinging it across the field,
don't say
that.
As long as it's not Cade McNamara, don't care.
It's going to be Deacon Hill, though.
Well, yeah, but Cade won't be playing. I'm just saying, if there's going to be an Iowa quarterback that beats us, as long as it's not McNamara, because we'd never live that down.
Maybe Spencer Petras comes out of the portal for this game, and
Spencer Petras.
He's in the portal, man. I don't know where he's going. I don't know who wants him, but
he's going to Northwood.
That might be a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, right. It's going to Lawrence Tech.
He's going to Bishop Sycamore.
Yeah.
Group of 5 conference championships. Robby, is there any games you really want to point out? I only really have one.
Yeah. I mean, the New Mexico State Liberty one was I just like that matchup because Liberty is a ranked opponent, 12-0, and New Mexico State. I love everything that they have going on over there. It's a fun team to watch. It's a fun story to follow all season. If you haven't, just like go back and just read about them or watch them. This is a good football team. Great secondary guys in that team that were big Power 5 guys that kind of, had to take a step back, but are showing that they're NFL talent. Yeah, I mean, the Tulane SMU game.
Yeah, that's the game I wanted to touch on.
That's going to be the best game.
Yeah,
obviously.
I think this is the best. I mean, Troy Appalachian State's going to be a good game too, in my opinion. But I think Troy's a better team defense.
It doesn't matter. Appalachian State's going to Appalachian State, man.
Yeah, I mean they are. They were not probably expected to be there when they were 3-3. So the fact that they got there is a big congrats to them. Although it's a little bit of an asterisk because it's the game. That's where James Madison's supposed to be. But hey, Appalachian State beat James Madison, so.
App State's gonna App State, baby.
Yeah, but no, SMU Tulane, I'm very excited to watch. I'm gonna have it on along Alabama, Georgia. I know I'm the sicko that watches Group of 5 football.
If you don't watch Group of 5 football, grow up. Grow up.
I only watch big time games and can't enjoy any other level of football. I'm also a Patriots and 49ers fan, or Patriots back then, 49ers fan now, Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
I only care about the good teams.
Right. My favorite player is Joe Shiesty when he's healthy. Shut up.
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah. Oh, I knew LSU that in 2019 or 2020 was going to win the national championship. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, because Joe Burrow was projected to be
right. I knew he was going to win the Heisman, bro.
He's going to be the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah, bro. People take me off because there's too many fans out there, and if you're one of those fans and you're getting all defensive with me right now, turn off the podcast.
I think if you listen to the Engage a podcast though, you're not.
You're not the average college football fan.
You're not the average football fan in general.
Right? No, you are a little more.
Granted, me and Robby to watch the NFL, but we watch high school.
Yeah, so. I'd rather watch high school football than the NFL.
Unless
it's the Lions.
Yeah.
I like the Lions. I just like being at Lions games. That's it. The environment's electric. I'm here for an electric atmosphere. Even their product is not.
It's just every team's the same, man. And that's what I don't like. Like the college football, every team has something different to them. There's different scheme.
Every NFL team runs the same offense and they run the same defense, and
they might call it something different. But if you look how the plays are drawn up, I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about college football, but there's more variety. There's more formations, more play concepts that people call them
better storylines.
Yeah, better storylines, better coaches.
The energy's better. It's the best.
Even though without NIL, the kids still have something to play for, man.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Dude, you can't tell me that players – I'd love to do this interview one day, but players got to love playing college more than they love playing the NFL. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have to believe that. It just means more when you're playing for, the name on your chest, the school, the students, everything. That's just – when you win a national championship or you win a big game, man, and you have the entire student body running onto the field, come on.
Yeah, college atmospheres are so much better than NFL atmospheres.
The Super Bowl. You can't tell me that playing in a Super Bowl, yes, is it cool because it's on national? Sure. But all those fans aren't even there to watch the game, man.
They're there to
They're all just celebrities. And they're just let's dress up and post on social media. It's bro.
People celebrities don't go to the college football playoff now. I mean, they do. Look at Colorado. They brought out so much celebrities this season.
But that creates an environment because everyone else there, loves that. But it's not a bunch of them, right? It's
right.
You'll never convince me otherwise.
Yep.
So don't even try in the comment section.
All right. Transfer portal and coaching carousel buzz. Has anyone entered the
Cameron Martinez, for everyone that knows that name? I wouldn't expect many to know it, but he's a DB at Ohio State. He's a huge player, a high school football player in the state of Michigan, actually. He's a two-time Mr.
What
Football
school did
winner.
he go?
He went to the Muskegon Big Reds, the
Okay.
legendary Muskegon Big
Oh,
Reds.
he was that he was that big prospect from Muskegon. Okay.
Yep. And he was supposed to play quarterback at Ohio State. Was too small. He's kind of like your Tate Martell guy, but actually transitioned to DB and had a decent career until he played Michigan last year in the shoe, and then everyone realized he sucked. He is entering the transfer portal. That is the most recent guy I've seen. But other than that, since the last time we talked,
Cam Ward.
DJU, Dante Moore,
Riley
Max
Leonard.
Johnson, Riley Leonard. Is there any others?
Quarterback. We said Walker. Walker Howard entered on Monday.
Walker Howard did enter on Monday. Yep. Other than that, there's guys that are notable names, maybe big-time prospects in high school that didn't actually get to pan out. And, like we said in that last
Grayson
episode,
McCall. That was the guy that entered. KJ Jefferson.
Yes. KJ Jefferson, big name.
I think that he's rumored to go to South Carolina. So,
RIP.
I don't know. I mean, he's 6'4", 250. Like, if South Carolina is going to get a quarterback, at least it's him, because at least he's going to be able to keep plays alive from just his huge frame.
Sure.
And it's not like he's used to taking a beating. He did play for Arkansas, and Arkansas was not very good at pass protecting or really anything this year. But
they sucked. Some guys I want to point out: TCU wide receiver Cordell Russell. This is a guy who I believe was a top 5 receiver in the class of 2023. That's a name you need to watch. He's going to have 4 years eligibility, I believe, 6'4", around 210, 220s frame. Dude, the kid's lightning in a bottle. He has got big play material written all over him. This is a guy that needs to go into an offense with a quarterback that has a massive arm that they're going to be able to utilize and just kind of – he needs to be a guy that's by himself. I think TCU just didn't have the offensive play style to get a guy like this involved. And plus TCU, he probably was a guy that commits because TCU was on the big stage last year. Obviously, they're not trending towards
MJ Morris.
Yeah. MJ Morris is another guy. I think this kid could be.
That Bradley kid you were talking about from Texas Tech earlier before we started?
Yes.
There's also another guy, Miles Price, who's been pretty good as well throughout his Texas Tech career too. So,
yes. Jerron Bradley is going to be a guy that's going to be super.
Yeah, he's going to be one of Jamari Macklin. He's a guy that should be really looked at, dude. Like watch. I know it's crazy. Watch some North Texas film. That kid.
Watch North Texas film, and another group of 5 guy, the South Alabama star, Colin Lacey. Dude, this kid.
That kid's gonna be freaking a stud.
He's gonna be an absolute stud. This kid was 5th in the nation. 5th in the nation, I believe, in catches. 91 catches, some 1,500 yards, maybe a little less. I don't know. That kid's awesome. He's one of those guys that he's that 5'10", 190 build. He's got muscle, but he's got tons of speed. Obviously, got great hands if you're going to be top 10, top 5 in the nation in catches. Other than that, I mean, the Florida quarterback, that kid's nothing.
Max Brown, no. I do like that Rico Flores. He had some games this year for Notre Dame. I think he's a kid that's going to be able to step up and do some stuff this year.
For sure.
Do this stuff this upcoming season.
Yeah. Amari Arbor from Duncanville, Texas, the Ohio State 5-star in the 2020
Tyron
class.
Smith from UTEP. He's going to be a guy that you should watch out for in the portal. Josh Kelly from Washington State. That kid's a stud. If you've watched Washington State this season, yes, he had the pleasure of having Cam Ward throw him the football. Maybe he follows wherever Cam Ward goes because that kid, he's a player, man. Him and Kyle Williams are, we talk about Romadunze and Jalen Polk. Josh Kelly and Kyle Williams are one of the best tandems in the country as well.
Absolutely. And the last guy I'll point on is Tyrell Henry. This is a kid that, with the right quarterback, I truly believe is something special. I watched and followed this kid all the way through high school, and he's he's electric. He is simply electric. He needs to add a little bit of size, in my opinion. But at the college level, you can kind of get away with
I think
that.
Jaron Glover's actually kind of a huge loss for Michigan State too.
Big body receiver. Yeah,
he's
for
gonna
sure.
be. I'm glad Malik Carr's coming back though. So
Yeah, and I've noticed that the guys that seem to stay,
I think it's just the younger guys from Michigan State. You know, they were promised Mel Tucker. Mel Tucker kind of was this cocky. You know, I don't give a about
right,
an SOB.
right, and they could have that same mentality, right? They could, they those are guys that kind of play with that different edge on their shoulder and get away with it. Coaching staff, some coaching staffs in this country they don't like it. They just.
I think with Jonathan Smith though, it's going to be I think one thing Mel Tucker lacked was assertive awareness almost. And I think that's something that Jonathan Smith, if you watch him at Oregon State, it's physical, smart, and
It's going to be a more disciplined style of
yeah.
football. It's going to be a more sound style of football. And what I mean by sound is it's
And
the
if
offense.
you look at Michigan State when they had the most success in recent memory, it was like under D'Antonio and Jonathan Smith's it's reported that he's gonna go look to D'Antonio for advice and help and stuff. So I think like they're eerily similar, and I think that's if you want to be Michigan State, that's kind of how you want to be successful. Just be a physical, like they were a really good physical football team not too long ago. Had one of the best defenses in the nation. And, if they can get the stud running backs, I think Damian Martinez is staying at Oregon State. But if we could somehow get him, then, come on down to East Lansing. But I really like Nathan Carter anyway. So I'm not going to be too upset if he doesn't come. But what I think is they're going to get they're not going to go too crazy in the transfer portal this year, to be honest. I think they're going to get guys that they need, not guys that are just coming here to come here. I think that's kind of something that Mel Tucker was like, hey, we could put you in a spot here and then not using half of these guys anyways. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm very happy about the hire. One thing I will say, I really like Indiana's hire, Kurt Cinetti of James Madison. The head coach from James Madison's now taking over at Indiana. Pretty sure since Mark Cuban selling the Mavs for $3.5 billion. I know Indiana's NIL money stepped up, so yeah, Mark Cuban, he's giving back. Which, I mean, that's all you can ask for as a Hoosiers fan. I know how much of you guys are in football because it's basketball season. But yeah, other than that, nothing too much. Oregon State makes an in-house hire with their defensive coordinator. I don't know anything about Duke. I haven't heard anything about that. Do we think Dillon Gabriel goes to Mississippi State?
Yes. I think that just everyone over that Oklahoma knows Jackson Arnold is going to start no matter what, and he has to start. The fact that Oklahoma beat Texas this year and still could not make it into the Big 12 championship, you know that the next step, it's the same conversation as McCarthy-McNamara. You just knew that to take the next step, you had to give the nod to the better guy, the guy that maybe hasn't proved himself completely, but that on paper and just on film, eye test, everything, he passes that. He is going to be the starter next year. And Dillon Gabriel, if you want to sit there and fight out that position battle and have to go through what McNamara did, you're an idiot. You're wasting a year, in my opinion. So
I think he has 1 year left too. So
right. So this is why I truly think he's not even going to sit there. He knows a QB battle is going to have to transpire. And why sit there, man? Just leave. It's not like you have this ultimate tie to Oklahoma anyways. Like there's not this, oh my gosh, you've done so much for us. Like, no, dude, just leave. Go to Mississippi State. I think this guy is still a guy who could get picked in the late rounds of the NFL draft, but
yeah,
he's
a floor riser, not a ceiling riser.
Absolutely.
Jackson Arnold
is a
Jag Plus.
Jag Plus.
There's some lingo to it. But no. What else I'll say is, Walker Howard saw one of the schools, Louisville. Better go there, man. I want to see that team. Quarterbacks can succeed under Jeff Brom, man. So it wouldn't be a bad investment. So
I'm not saying you're wrong by any means. No, I think it's logical. I actually do. Jeff Braun is such a good head
I saw
coach.
Mizzou's one of the spots too, which that team with Walker Howard. I think Brady Cook, he's good. He's not great. Brady Cook is good at everything, but he's not elite at one thing. I think Walker Howard's eerily kind of similar to that. So I will say Walker Howard maybe has better pocket presence, maybe a little bit more pocket awareness. But like other than that, I think Walker Howard's probably about the same in everything. So we'll see. We'll see. I see DJU thinking about the NFL or Oregon and Florida State are the rumored reports that I've seen. I think he would succeed at Florida State, to be honest. So I think it'd be a good fit for him. I don't know so much about Oregon. We'll see. I don't know.
I think Oregon is more logical for him though, because there is such a great relationship between him and Mateo. And if you guys don't know, Mateo Uyangole is his brother.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a pull there.
But
it's actually why
I'll get into it. I think Cam Ward goes to Oregon.
Yeah, that's not bold at all. That
in
my opinion makes sense.
Yeah, and in my opinion, Oregon would be still competing for the national championship if they get Cam Ward, because I think Cam Ward's a legit difference maker. So
yeah, it's going to be super interesting to see where that kid goes, because he is, like you said.
I think he could go to the league. I think he could go to the league though too.
Is Cam Ward eligible?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's the problem though, dude. He could. But
he played a year in FCS. He played a year in FCS. Was a stud, like absolute stud.
But you got to remember too, with the amount of money guys are getting out of staying in college, he is making more money.
Like he's overall. I heard he's got 5 $1 million offers already.
Right.
So
I heard OSU on that list too, and I'm just sorry, but like
I don't know. They might. I think
they're offering the money for sure, but nobody wants to go there. Nobody.
I will say though, it would be interesting if Blake Murphy entered the portal and went to OSU.
Yeah, I mean that guy's basically CJ Stroud, in my opinion. He's afraid to run, but he's got the arm talent and
run. I don't know. Because I think when you do the assessment, I don't think you stay with McCord next year. I think you either go with Kindholz or
if you don't even give Lincoln or Devin Brown a chance, and that better be made known. If they don't end up making the playoff after this weekend, it better be made known to both those guys you are going to get an opportunity, because those are two guys December 4th we could see hop right into this thing, and they will play wherever they end up going.
Devin Brown will go be the starting quarterback at let me try to preview. Probably go to Georgia because Carson Beck's going to go pro, and I don't
think Carson Beck goes to the NFL after this year.
I mean, it really depends how he plays in the conference championship and playoff, but I see it. Like, dude, the kid, he is a pro quarterback when you watch him play. He does everything really well.
For sure. I mean, yeah, we'll see. We shall see.
All right. That is going to be the end of this episode. I think for the first time in a long time, we haven't gone over an hour. So, God bless your ears. Actually, no, that sucks for your ears because you don't get to hear us for longer, but we will be back sometime next week, whether it's Sunday or Monday. Me and Robby will talk about it and, align it with our schedules. Are the Lions home this week?
They are not. They are in Louisiana.
All right.
Baton Rouge playing the Saints.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I know someone going to that game.
Baton Rouge, geez. New Orleans.
Same place. Louisiana is just one really hot, muggy state that has crawfish. That is actually very stereotypical. But very very excited to see what happens this weekend. It's obviously going to be big playoff implications, which me and Robby didn't talk about much. What happens if all this happens? We don't care. We want to see what happens. We're not here to speculate too much. That's basically it. Please like, subscribe, share, do all those great things that you're more than capable of. Check us out on social media. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.